within the race from memory. But the field in a moment, set to be released. "15-second board just shown to the drivers. So Ryan Wong and their nearest to us, Henry Lee, about to be released onto this warming up lap. One last chance to have a look at the gear circuit, and this time, of course, it is a much drier and a much faster gear circuit for the TCR Asia Challenge to do battle on. So the field sprints away from the line. One or two cars at the back a little bit slow and sluggish away, but I think they've all got going now. James Tang's Honda was one that was not quite so keen on its toes.
Now let's hope they don't get overexcited. Now they've got a dry track to compete on. They were on wet tyres this morning. It was wet pretty much all around the circuit, wasn't it, for their first race of today. Dry tyres all the way through the field now. A fully dry circuit. Sunshine, and as they weave the cars from side to side, they are doing their best on this formation lap to get as much heat into the tyres as they possibly can for this 9-lap race, with Ryan Wong at the front of the field. They're turning into now Lisboa, the right-hander that offers us so much excitement, so much opportunity for overtaking. And as we saw earlier on in the GT4 race, so much opportunity for near misses. If you haven't seen that moment, which involved the car of Adam Christodoulou, recommend you watch back on the live screen and find the start of the GT4 race, because that was completely and utterly unique.
It was, yes. I think the Macau Grand Prix website offers a race playback.
It does,
as well, so you can go and find that race in isolation if you so desire.
Or on Facebook, the live stream on Facebook as well. You can do the same with that.
So options are plenty as the cars then wriggle their way downhill. So this one is the race, I mean, I know this doesn't narrow it down, but it's the one with the real drama, because with the reverse grid or semi-reverse grid of the top 10 qualifiers, there are people that need to be on their toes. In a sense, you want to try and get as many places as you can before Lisboa on the first lap, because after that it becomes difficult for the rest of the lap to make progress, but it's not impossible.
No, it certainly is not, as they head their way around through the tight and twisty section of the gear circuit to the left-hander at Donna Maria, long left-hander. It's tight on the exit of the corner at Donna Maria. Oh, they're not there yet. Just coming through Police and then Moorish. I looked up and saw a left-hander and assumed it was Donna Maria. It was not. It's the left-hander they're heading down to now. That's the one. And through they go. Tight on the exit, as we saw a little bit earlier on today. That's the run down towards the Melco hairpin. Single file, always.
Yes, tight on exit there as well.
Really tight on exit for our pole sitter, Ryan Wong. Getting it pretty close to the barrier on the exit. And now the circuit opens up, gets wider, gets faster, gives them the opportunity to weave the cars and get that last little bit of heat into the tyres. The good news is that on this formation lap, they are all pretty close to each other. Yeah. So the field is nice and tight, isn't it? Which is good news.
So it'll be a standing start, of course, unlike before when it was the safety car start. So this time it's a bone dry circuit. And like the F4 drivers who are yet to come, they get the two different track conditions over the course of the day. So towards the timing line they will come, one by one, staggered grid, just to give a little bit of space between cars for safety reasons. Even though the pit straight is relatively wide, it does separate them out and just help should there be any dramas.
So the cars round the final corner of the gear circuit, line up on their grid spots, and we'll get the second race of the day underway in due course for 9 laps for the TCR Asia Challenge, all part of this celebration of motorsport, this festival of motorsport here at Macau for the 70th Macau Grand Prix. First line, front row is in order, so too the second, so too the third. The fourth row comes into line. The rest of the field take their places. We are shortly to get this 9-lap race underway.
Last couple of cars into place then at the very back, and as the field awaits then now, the 5-second board will be shown once that final car is in place, which it is now. And so with 1 or 2 non-starters for this second TCR Asia Challenge, the top 10 on the grid in reverse from their qualifying order are going to be the ones to watch. What promises to be a great race is about to get underway. Light to go out. Really good start by Henry Lee. Really bad start by Cheung Cheon, number 55, as around him darts Lee Ka-hei, who was really good in race 1. Now, what about Sean Tong? Because he made a decent enough start. He's on his toes. So also, of course, is Lo Se-ho as they come then out of reservoir for the first time. Henry Lee Jr. leading the way, then lights are flashing. In second place is Lee Ka-ho, and then in third, Ryan Wong. So he made a really slow start, Ryan Wong. Behind him in fourth place is Kelvin Wong, and out of Mandarin they come for the first time, as it is game on for the race lead, and Lo Se-ho has already cleared 1 or 2 from 9th on the grid.
Yeah, a really good start by Henry Lee, and they're going to go side by side for the lead, and absolutely on the limit is Lee Ka-hei as they go on the run down towards Lisboa. Through Lisboa they go. Little bit of a moment there for fourth place as the leaders are already around San Francisco.
And more drama at Lisboa in the background, but that touch for fourth was Ryan Wong being given the hurry up by Sean Tong. Now, the fact that Sean Tong's already ahead of Lo Se-ho and up into, what, 5th place with Lo Se-ho 6th, that's impressive.
Very impressive indeed. Needs a good race here. He's going to try and squeeze through on this really tight section, but the top 2 have broken away, haven't they? This is a very determined Lee Ka-hei on the opening lap, and right on the tail of the very fast starting Henry Lee. The 2 of them together, tied together through this tight section. You can't really get 2 cars through this part of the circuit, but it has been done. And in a touring car, it can be done. It
can if you race with respect to the guy you're racing with, then you are both able to accept the space for the other car. Of course, some drivers are better at that than others, but right now Henry Lee Jr. doing a very good job indeed. Didn't really shine in the first race of the day, did he, with an early pit stop when it was that mixed weather conditions of damp and drying. But behind him is a man who got a drive-through penalty in race 1, Lee Ka-hei. And he's hanging on to the back in second spot as they make the climb to Donna Maria now. And on that part of the circuit, Henry Lee Jr. just getting away a little bit, but it's really 4th and 5th and 6th that we need to be looking to see if it's Wong from Tong. It isn't, because Sean Tong has gone through. He's taken Lo Se-ho with him, and we've lost Ryan Wong. So somewhere then, the pole car has gone AWOL. Has he dropped back into 6th, or is it worse than that? There is the yellow Audi, but that's a big amount of time lost.
Yeah, huge amount of time. It is a trio for the lead. It might be a quartet before too long, because Sean Tong has really got the hurry up on this opening lap and needed to do that. That was exactly what he needed to do in the first part of this race. And the leaders come round and are about to predict. So it's going to be 6 cars for the lead, isn't it, before too long, as they all 3 top 3 turn through the right-hander and up towards the start-finish line. Top 2 has broken away once again, haven't they?
Yeah, and Lee Ka-hei on the lights trying to distract Henry Lee as they come into reservoir.
Does that work?
Well, not yet, it doesn't. It's more in hope than in anticipation, I think. Henry Lee then having to give a tow now to Lee Ka-hei, who looks on the inside coming down to Mandarin, and that gives him the race lead. And in fact, Henry Lee even put the indicator on there saying, go through, you're quicker. Okay, there's no point me fighting it.
It does work then.
Yeah, yeah. And Sean Tong is about to make his move for 3rd place. Here comes the blue-nosed Honda up on the inside line there as they brake hard on the brakes. He's up the inside of Hugh Hang, and he clears Henry Lee as well. Super. So Sean Tong goes 2nd, and Lo Se-ho is stuck in 5th.
Absolutely superb, wasn't it? 2 cars on the run down to Lisboa. Sean Tong really does have the bit between his teeth for this race, and is giving us a great demonstration of how to be decisive and clean on the opening part of a race.
He made a mistake early on in race 1 when he was in the lead. He then made contact with the back marker and got a puncture, so this is his chance to put it all right. And Lo Se-ho, who is there on the inside, makes a move against Hugh Heng. That's audacious, and it has worked as well.
Works. Goodness me, that was very brave indeed. I did say this is not the part of the circuit that you get overtaking, but in a touring car, you can.
Absolutely. But again, you've got to be respectful, and Hugh Hang was. He thought, well, this guy's quicker. He won the first race. He gave him the room. So Sean Tong now is on a mission to get onto terms with a similar Honda of the Audi, I should say, of Lee Ka-hei. But where is Lo Se-ho? He is still fourth, so he's got to get past Henry Lee yet, so he's losing touch for the moment with Tong, isn't he?
Yep, and just turning through the right-handers, the two right-handers, one comes very quickly after another at Police and Moorish, and then onto the left-hander at Donna Maria. So what an opening lap, this opening couple of laps this has been for Sean Tong. He's put in the fastest sector of the race in Sector 2 on this lap. And on sectors 1 and 3 and 4 as well, I beg your pardon, for Sean Tong. Lee Ka-hei put in the quickest overall second sector, but 3 fastest sectors for the flying Sean Tong, and he's bringing down the gap and ever bringing down the gap between himself and the race leader Lee Ka-hei. So the top 2 in a couple of moments are going to be tied together. What's the gap going to be when they cross the line and complete 2 laps? The gap is going to be 0.9 of a second, and now we're on the run down towards Mandarin and therefore also Lisboa. This was the last time that Sean Tong was absolutely superb. Took 2 places on the previous lap. What are they going to do now?
Well, he's going to pitch for the lead, and Lo Se-ho is going to have to pitch for 3rd place, but he's stuck behind Henry Lee, and you can see how much time he's losing, so he needs Sean Tong not to make his move yet and get trapped there, but he wants to get past Henry Lee, and at the moment the race 1 winning Hyundai just does not have the pace, but equally Sean Tong not close enough there to dive bomb Lee Ka-hei, so no change for the leader, no change for 3rd either. Lo Se-ho struggling a bit here.
The battle is on though, isn't it? Because Lo Se-ho on the tail of Henry Lee as they go through San Francisco, they go up through the hill, and Lo Se-ho was very, very brave on this section of the circuit on the previous lap to make up a place early on this tight and twisty part of the Macau circuit. Meanwhile, Sean Tong has closed up, hasn't he, on the race leader. They go around the left-hander at Teddy Ip, and Sean Tong on the back of Lee Ka-hei, and the top 2 tied together on this, the 3rd lap of a 9-lap race. Top 2 on their own now. Yeah,
they are. Sean Tong, fastest man on the circuit then. He's closing that gap down all the time. Took another 2 tenths out in the second sector, took 3 tenths out in the first sector, and it's almost now borrowed time, isn't it, for Lee Ka-hei, because he knows that Sean Tong is coming, and he's coming fast behind him. So before long, the battle is going to be on. Audi versus Honda. And Lo Se-ho, in the meantime, is still trying to find a way past Henry Lee and see what he can do about getting up with the leaders. This, in a sense, ought to be working for Lo Se-ho, with Tong being trapped behind Lee, but he's not there with them yet.
Not able to be as yet. And another story has emerged that Paul Poon is having a much better race, multiple winner here at Macau. He's put in an overall best in the first sector. He's up to 6th place. So at long last this weekend, Paul Poon is having a good race to look back on.
He is indeed, after crashing in qualifying and therefore missing out on his participation in Q2. Sean Tong was almost at the back of Lee Ka-hei as they got to the Melco hairpin that time, as you saw. Right, but the Audi is fending off the Honda, so as they come up now towards the completion of the lap, look to see Henry Lee, who is still ahead of Lo Se-ho. Now, yesterday, the pace of that Hyundai, you'd have thought it just glided through the field without any problems. Henry Lee Jr. may have let Sean Tong go by earlier on and may have let Lee Ka-hei go by when he knew they were quicker, but he's not letting Lo Se-ho go, is he? He's putting up a defence there.
Is he friends with Sean?
I don't know about that, but it's... I mean, it was really Lee Ka-hei that he let through first of all, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's right.
And Sean Tong went by as well. But now Henry Lee thinks, OK, I'm going to race for 3rd.
It's working in Sean's favour at the moment, isn't it? That's for sure, because now the top 2 go on the run down towards Lisboa. What can Sean Tong do this time? Nothing, because he's just a little bit too far back. He went on the wide line, the wide entry. He's doing the same at San Francisco. No way through there. So it's still Lee Ka-hei that leads from Sean Tong, but Sean Tong is driving very determined to take the lead, while we have Lo Se-ho still being held in 4th place by Henry Lee. So they're on the tight and twisty section now. Lee Ka-hei, he leads. Sean Tong in 2nd place. Then we've got the gap before we've got Henry Lee and Lo Se-ho in 4th place. I haven't talked too much about 5th and 6th. That's Hugh Heng in the number 95 car and Paul Poon in the number 21 car. That completes the top 6. Back with the race leaders now, and Lee Ka-hei is doing a pretty incredible job not putting a wheel wrong with the amount of pressure he's under from Sean Tong right there behind him.
Yeah, I go along with that. And Sean Tong trying to work out where he can make that move. It's not going to be here. So the cars now make that run up the hill then from Prix towards Moorish. And on the hill, the climb now to Donna Maria. So you've got Audi versus Honda. It is Lee Ka-hei ahead of Sean Tong. And Lo Se-ho has done an absolute best on this lap. So does that suggest that the Hyundai is finally got ahead of Henry Lee? Because if there's clear track space, you can anticipate those absolute bests would be coming. Look in the background, and the answer is no, he's not. It's still Henry Lee in third place, and Lo Se-ho tried to get up the inside there because Henry Lee went deep into the Melco hairpin, so that's becoming a real problem for the Hyundai driver. He just can't make progress now.
No, and of course the Melco hairpin is, so this is an interesting point. The Melco hairpin is an area of the circuit that you cannot overtake over the course of the weekend, so it makes things even more tricky when you get to there, and the car in front has a bit of a problem. It's a tricky section of the circuit, but it certainly does set you up for the run down now where we are for the race leaders, and that's across the line and on the run down towards Mandarin, and the all-important Lisboa, that opportunity to overtake. So across the line goes the battle for third and fourth place, and meanwhile we're back with the race leader. What can Sean Tong do this time as they go through Mandarin? Now this is the all-important run. I'm not sure he's close enough this time.
He might be really, really good on the brakes. He might even get a bit of a tow here coming down to Lisboa, but Lee Ka-hei positions the car in the middle of the road, so there's no real chance for Sean Tong to go either side. He tries to force a mistake, but he still can't do it. The top 8 point scorers across the 2 races, rather than the top 8 finishers in race 2, go forward into the World Tour, the gear race next week. Initially, the idea was that it would be the top 8 finishers, but then a change to the regulations overnight, effectively, has meant that points are going to be awarded in a miniature championship across the 2 races, and it's the top 8 scorers that go into next week's activity.
Which is a really quite wonderful prize for doing well over the course of the first weekend of the Macau Grand Prix this weekend, because to be taking part in the gear race is something very special indeed. When you look at some of the names of the winners here in the past and the championships that have been decided here at Macau, that was an incredible move, wasn't it?
James Tang in the blue and white Honda up the inside of Ryan Wong and forced him out wide, and the pair of them ended up being split there, as well as another of the rapid Audis was able to nip up the inside. Right, for the race lead, they're still nose to tail, and of course Sean Tong now hoping that he will have done enough out of limping to the end of race 1 in order to do anything to get through, because if he doesn't get into that top 8 scorers, one way of making sure he's in the top 8 is to win this race.
Certainly is, and he's doing his level best to do exactly that, all over the back of the race leader, Lee Ka-hei, as they make their way up towards the Melco hairpin. Now, this is critical. He's right on the tail of him. A good exit from the corner, which he gets, sets him up very nicely for the run down through Black Sand. Speed increases, the track widens, the speed continues to increase as they go down towards Fisherman's and Arbend, the final turn of the corner after they go through Fisherman's. Through Fisherman's they go. This is the run down towards Arbend, the final turn on the gear circuit, and then critically setting up for the run down towards Lisboa through Mandarin, the ever quicker Mandarin. So this is the end of the lap. This is the conclusion of lap number 5 now. It's a 9-lap race, and with a good exit from the Melco hairpin, it can set you up for a really good first part of the circuit, which is the quick part of the track.
Now, we've had a change for third place, and Lo Se-ho, who has now done the fastest lap of the race, is up into third place. He's finally cleared Henry Lee Jr. Now, Sean Tong, still concerned, may not qualify for next week, but he's about to go for the race lead, and down to Lisboa. He's got the inside line and he's got the job done, assuming he can slow up the car in time for the corner, which he does, and he turns in, and now Sean Tong takes the race lead. He was a little bit of a way back, like half a second as they came across the line, but he got a good run, a good tow all the way down to Lisboa. Sean Tong leads race 2 in Tcr Asia Challenge.
And when you said Lo Se-ho went into third place, he did so. He did so in fine style as well, with the fastest lap of the race, a 2:34.2 for Lo Se-ho, now in third place, and now in the lead of the race is Sean Tong. What's he going to do about shaking off Lee Ka-hei as they head around the left-hander at Teddy Ip? on the tight and twisty section of the circuit. So that was a really good manoeuvre for Sean Tong for the lead, wasn't it?
It was indeed. And a good, clean pass. No silliness. We've had another change further back as Paul Poon managed to get up the inside of Hugh Heng, who got it all wrong under braking and drove himself into the barrier. That was a very unusual off.
That was an unusual off, and really played into the hands of Lo Si Ho. Now in third place with the fastest lap of the race as well. This the battle for the lead. Sean Tong is doing his best to extend the gap between himself and second place. And in fairness, he's got a bigger gap than he had between himself and Lee Kah-hei when Lee Kah-hei was in the lead of the race. So he's doing a good job here, is Sean Tong, determined to be on the grid for the gear race next weekend.
So didn't finish race 1, but he's on target for a win, which I think is 50 points for race 2. And then behind him it is Lee Kah-hei, but you've got chasing on in third place Lo Si Ho. They come down again towards our bend. So Sean Tong's Honda.
What a gap.
Absolutely. So many years you associate Sean Tong with Audis. Safety cars being deployed. That's going to bunch them all up, and that throws Lo Si Ho a bit of a lifeline. We've got, it'll be 3 laps to go at the end of this, won't it, when they come across the line. So this is going to have to be a quick safety car period to ensure that we go racing again the other side of it, as there is Lo Si Ho coming towards the timing line. The leader has gone by. Safety car conditions will now be instigated.
So, a drama with the safety car deployed because they all bunch up together. Exactly what Lo Si Ho wanted in this race. This has very much played into the hands of the third place car. And as far as the qualification for the gear race, it would be a tremendous disappointment, wouldn't it, if a race winner wasn't able to get through to the gear race, because Sean Tong has done absolutely everything in his power to win this race, gained maximum points, has driven incredibly well, and now with the safety car deployed, we have 3 laps remaining. See, now Sean Tong has gone into the lead. An overall best in the first sector, 2 personal bests in the second and fourth sector as well, and this has been an impressive race for Sean Tong.
Right, safety car's picked them all up. Now we need to try and work out why we've got the safety car, who it is that's gone missing. I wonder whether it might be Henry Lee. I'm waiting for cars to come across the line, but the timing screen is not offering any instant clues, but all will be revealed in a moment. Yellow flag at turn 3, and then the safety car. Well, turn 3 is Lisboa, and that's Hugh Heng up the escape road. Is that it? Is that the only reason for the safety car?
I think it must be.
And I wonder, looking at those tyre marks, whether that was caused with a wheel dragging because he hit the wall.
You said it was unusual, didn't you?
Or he hit the wall because something broke and pitched him left.
Yeah.
But either way, he can't turn the car around and rejoin. And I suspect the reason we have the safety car is to get that out of harm's way, because if anybody else goes up the escape road, they're going to hit it potentially.
It's not an escape road, no. it's a danger road, so it needs to be cleared.
And bad news is that it's not quick, by the look of it, to do that.
No, so trolley jacks in place, little dollies need to go underneath the corners of the car to get it moving, so it may take the marshals, the recovery teams, a little while to get that car clear. As we say, we're on lap 7, it's a 9-lap race, and it is being led by Sean Tong, who is driving in such a determined style. He's going to need to carry that on as well. He's got Lee Kah-hei just behind him, who he has already demoted to second place with a great move down at Lisboa.
Here's the incident for Hugh Heng again, 95. Now have a look. He comes towards the braking zone now, and as he brakes, the car puts him towards the wall. It's like something grabbed, and having hit the wall, maybe there's a further breakage, but
it is
strange that under heavy braking, the car should just suddenly swing left.
No, it just changed direction. Something went horribly wrong on the car to cause that to happen, and maybe a little extra bit of damage caused to the car as well. So that's the reason for the safety car. And I fancy the safety car is not going to go into pit lane at the end of this lap, is it? cars being told once again by race control to close up the gaps, to get a little bit closer to one another. You can see why. Big gap there.
And we had drivers penalised with a drive-through penalty in the first race for the same offence. So Sean Tong leads the way. In terms of winning this, he's in the box seat. In terms of getting into the gear race next weekend, he can do no more really than just win this race. A puncture retiring him from the earlier race today. The safety car's lights are still on, so it's going to come through with 2 laps to go. It could end up as just being a 1-lap shootout, couldn't it?
I think it probably will. We've got now, what are we seeing here?
Another reason for an incident. That's the number 6 Hyundai, isn't it? Of Lee Wenyi. So that car trying to get going as well. I think that's stranded.
Maybe not the isolated incident then down at
But if that's the police, there should be a crane to get that out of the way. And it's perhaps not as easy to swing a touring car out of harm's way than it is a single-seater, but the provision is there. Right, so 2 laps to run in race 2 of TCR Asia Challenge. I was just thinking to myself quietly how well it had been going earlier on.
It had been going supremely well.
Yeah.
Lap after lap of excitement.
Exactly right. Well, Sean Tong will be happy, I suppose, that he was in the lead at least when the safety car came out. Geronimo Badaracco just going through, shot there on the back of Deng Bao Wei. And the lead is now coming towards the Lisboa right-hander once again. Feeling as though the pace is quickening at the moment, which might suggest a restart's coming.
We need that. We need that at the end of this lap, because they are on lap 8 out of 9. So for the safety car to peel off into pit lane at the end of this lap would give us some racing to see the checkered flag and the brilliant prize that awaits some of the drivers to compete in the gear race next weekend, on the weekend of the Macau Grand Prix, here for the 70th running of the Macau Grand Prix. Also celebrating the return of Formula 3 cars from the Macau Grand Prix on the 40th anniversary weekend, since Formula 3 cars became the machinery to compete at Macau.
So the safety car brings them around, and the lights are still on. We've not yet had any notification that it will be in this time, but it might be in that third safety car sector that we get the notification. At the moment, the cars are still within sector 4 on the lap, the timing sector, that is. And towards police, it's always an incredibly narrow section of that barrier that juts out, almost arms embrace, waiting to catch you. Moorish, and then Donna Maria. So if we don't get the safety car in this time, the race is going to finish behind us, isn't it?
It is, I'm afraid, yeah, and we've still had no indication on the timing screen that the safety car will come in, and I think we can assume that that's the problem down at police rather than the problem down at Lisboa, which potentially could extend this safety car period. Although they are speeding up, I think.
Well, yeah, that's what I said at the start of the lap, and it will be in this time, yeah, so that's encouraging then. So it is in that last timing sector where the decision comes to switch off the lights. So it is going to be a chance for Lee Ka-hei to fight back. Lo Se-ho in 3rd place, still hunting for a win in the second race. He had a win in race 1 earlier on in the day, but there's always that feeling that race 2 is the more important, even though they're of equal weight here. But as they come up towards the timing line, Lee Ka-hei could not be closer to Sean Tong this time around, could he? As we go green, then 1 lap to decide the winner of TCR Challenge Asia Race 2.
And look at Lo Se-ho as well. He in turn is tied to the back of Lee Ka-hei's car as they come down, and they get the green flag to change position on the run down toward. This is going to be very exciting down at Lisboa, isn't it? Through Mandarin they go. It is still Sean Tong who leads. It's Lee Ka-hei in 2nd place, and now coming under the attention of Paul Poon. Oh, goodness me.
Big off in the background, and Ryan Wong is involved in it as well. Red flag straight away. Race stopped because we've got 4 cars involved. All of that started, I'm afraid, with number 35 getting it wrong, Lam Kar-chun. He was hit by Ryan Wong, and then others got involved as well. So the race is stopped, and this is going to take a while to clear. As you can see, it was number 35, Lam Kar-chun, that lost it, hit the barrier, spun across the road. Ryan Wong, just like last year when he hit Lo Se-ho, had nowhere to go, same part of the circuit, and then others got involved as well. So I'm afraid it's 4 cars in the end. Race suspension. but I can't see it being restarted on the last lap. So
certainly not, no.
I would imagine that's going to be it. That's half your accident. Ryan Wong's going to give up on this place at this rate. 2 accidents year on year, same part of the circuit. Just look at the damage it does. It's only really when you see the accident that you realise the speed that they were travelling at. There's debris all over the road. Ryan Wong gets out of the car. He's okay, which is the good news. 35, Lam Kar-chun yet to get out of the car. Tap Meng goes through the incident zone and scoops bits of debris with him. The race won't be resumed. All the cars are being sent to Parc Fermé. Medical car on scene.
Oh dear, it's not a good sight when you see it's such a quick part of the circuit, isn't it?
Yeah. So here it is again. So Lam Kar-chun, he just loses it. Pure and simple. Can't slow the car down, hits the barrier, comes across the road, and Ryan Wong thinks, I'm going to go that way, but he ends up sort of hitting the brakes and spinning and being hit. And then the car that's hit him, look, comes across the road and gets collected as well. So look, Ryan Wong confronted with that car. Oh, I think it might have been hit from behind anyway, actually. Big impact. And then it's number 6 of Li Wengji that collected the 3rd car involved, which I'm trying to identify.
So after the restart, of course, the tyres get a bit cooler as well, don't they? So
yeah.
You can't quite take these corners in the same way that you would in the heat of the race.
True, but that's one of the reasons that that safety car was speeding up. Let them do that, to give them at least a sporting chance.
Yeah.
But it's the 3rd car involved is the one I'm still trying to work out. It might have been Chen Qion's Cupra. But anyway, in a sense, it's academic because the race ain't going to be restarted. And Sean Tong, Lee Kar-hae and Lo Se-ho will be in the top 3.
Yeah, they certainly will. And Sean Tong could be very pleased about that. We could only pick out one thing to be pleased about in race 1. I think we can pick out everything to be pleased about for Sean Tong. He had a great opening lap, making up the places early on, and then the constant attention to the back of Lee Kar-hae's car to finally take the lead of the race. Into pit lane, onto Parc Fermé they go. Lo Se-ho will be disappointed that he didn't get the opportunity to have the final laps.
I'm not sure it's going to make much difference. I mean, if you look at the order that they've come into the pit lane, Paul Poon had got ahead of him. So actually,
oh yes, he did.
He'll be pleased.
He did.
That he's going to have been given 3rd place on the countback. But that Hyundai just never seemed to have the pace today. Sorry, in race 2 that it did earlier on.
No, in race 1. Yeah.
Just didn't look there.
No, you're right. Yeah, Paul Poon got through, of course, didn't he? The multiple winner here at Macau. And so much happens, I forget things. Do forgive me.
It's easily done because there's so much drama, and often it involves the same people. So you think, was it qualifying or free practice?
Yes,
so had their spin. Yeah. Right, Sean Tong, he arrives at the scrutineering checks. Lee Kar-hae behind, and then Lo Se-ho, the race 1 winner, for 3rd place there. Look in the Hyundai Elantra N Tcr. And 4th will be Paul Poon, 5th will be Yan Trang in the Lincoln Co, and 6th Henry Lee Jr., who of course raced well early on.
So Paul Poon did get the results that he wanted in race 2. It has not been the perfect weekend for Paul Poon thus far, certainly making up for it with a podium position across the line for Paul Poon is a reasonable way to finish the weekend.
Now, in terms of points,
yes,
Sean Tong might be okay here because out of race 1, Yan Trang, who was 2nd, ending up 5th. 3rd was Chan Wen Tong, who didn't finish. Getting a replay of the incidents here. Look, so Lam Kar-chun across the road. Ryan Wong sees it all coming and thinks, which way do I go? But he's already been hit. Yes, he was hit up the back by Chen Qion, and that turned him into the incident. Chen Qion, in turn, hits the barrier, comes across the road, and then he gets hit there by Ling Wengji. That's a huge amount of damage to the car of Lam Kar-chun. And on impact, and again, it just illustrates the speed they're going. The cars sort of like they explode as the bodywork flies, doesn't it? 4 big hits.
Not a good scene to look down upon. The other thing that I noticed, actually, when you saw the initial impact onto the barrier, you would expect a slight amount of flex in the barrier, not a bit. And that's big impact, and the barriers here at Macau do what they're meant to do.
Absolutely.
Which is to keep everybody outside of the racetrack safe. That's a race winner. And Sean Tong out of the car, immediately pulled out of the car and indicated to go to be weighed.
So he gets the points for the win. The drivers from race 1, third Chan Wen-tong didn't finish this, fourth Hugh Heng didn't finish this, sixth Chen Qion in race 1, and he will be given 11th, and Lam Ka-chun will be given 8th from that race on the countback. So he might have done enough with that victory and the mixed results of others to go through, is what I'm saying, into the gear race next week. Lo Se-ho is content by the look of it, even though that car never seemed to come alive. Sean Tong's delighted though.
Do you think Lo Se-ho was taking things easy? Because
I'm not sure. I just don't think the car looked quick enough. He couldn't get through the traffic early on, got stuck behind Henry Lee. He's not the sort of driver to just sit there. Lee Ka-hei did a good job.
A really good job, yeah. And leading the race, fending off the attentions of a very, very quick and determined Sean Tong. And happy scenes outside Park Fairmate. Was that an arm around the shoulders to say he's so happy, needed a bit of arm around the shoulder? They're all happy for him, aren't they?
And he's been so briskly turned to the podium, he hasn't even taken his crash helmet off yet.
That's true. Happy scenes down there on the journey to the podium.
Confirmation of the result. Declared at 7 laps. They were on lap 8, but it goes back to the last completed lap. So Sean Tong the winner, Lee Ka-hei second, and Lo Se-ho in third. Paul Poon was fourth from Yan Chuang and Henry Lee Jr. Then Wong Kwan, James Tang was 8th. 9th was Ran Wong, despite being involved in the incident. And then in 10th place, it was Chen Qion. Chan Wen-tong next from Deng Ba-wei, Geronimo Badaraco and Tian Kai. Ng King Wen was 15th, Cao Chia-hong 16th, and Ip Tat Meng in 17th place. Provisional result, that is. So, as you look at one side of the Macau Grand Prix building, on the other, there is the podium, and there it is, which is now going to get busy because the doors open, trophy girls step forward, and TCR Asia Challenge Race 2 podium is next, and that will be getting underway any moment as the drivers are ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 70th Macau Grand Prix TCR Asia Challenge Race 2 trophy presentation ceremony. First of all, let's welcome the top 3 finishers to the podium. The second runner-up is number 1, Lo Se-ho from Hong Kong, China. The first runner-up, number 27, Lee Ka-hei from Hong Kong, China. And the winner is number 10, Tong Wei-fong from Hong Kong, China. Congratulations to the top 3 winners. And now I would like to invite our guests to present the laurel and trophy to the winners. Let's welcome Ms. Christy Chung, Vice President, Events and Promotions of Macau Resorts and Entertainment Limited, to present the laurel and trophy to the second runner-up, Lo Se-ho. Congratulations, and thank you, Ms. Chung. Now I would like to invite Ms. Raymond Low, Senior Vice President, Property General Manager of Altura Macau and Motor Clubs, Macau Resorts and Entertainment Limited, to present the laurel and trophy to our first runner-up, Lee Ka-hei. Thank you, Mr. Low. Last but not the least, let's welcome Mr. Poon Wan-kun, President of the Sports Bureau and Coordinator of the Macau Grand Prix Organizing Committee, to present the laurel and trophy to the winner, Tong Wei-fong. Congratulations. I would like to invite all the guests, please move to the center, and our winners, please go to the top of the podium. Raise a trophy and take the photo together. A loud cheers to our winners! Congratulations! Thank you very much, our guests. Thank you. Thank you, congratulations, and thank you, our great girls. Would all the drivers please remain as we have the champagne shower time? Thank you, our great girls. And here comes the taste of the victory. Let's share this glory moment with our top 3 winners of the TCR Asia Challenge Race 2. A loud cheers! Congratulations! We still have one more to pop. Always the best moment to anticipate for. Here is the taste of victory, the glory moment of our winners! Let's do it! Woo! Congratulations! Thank you. Once again, congratulations to the top 3 winners of the TCR Asia Challenge Race 2. Thank you very much. Thank you.